Good evening. Oh dear, look at that. Let's see if we can fix that up. Oh dear. Here we are. Good evening. Good evening, good evening. I am still Blue Moony, fantasy writer and shy magical library in human skin. Oh dearie me. Normally I'm pretty careful and I remember to check where I am before I start, but yes, was a little bit stressed about pulling stuff together for this stream, so that one little thing, checking that I'm in the right place, may have slipped my mind a little bit. Let's turn down the opening music and find our background music. There we go. There we go. How are you all? How are you doing? I hope so much you are well. I am... I am fine. Just, yes. Oh dear. I shouldn't stress too much about streams, should I? I want to deliver something worth watching. And yes, I tend to stress about that a little bit. But hopefully... Hi Elfie! Hello, hello! You're probably going to have particular fun with this stream, and feel free to heckle me as you see fit. Yes, I am far from an expert conlanger. What have I missed? You have missed nothing. We have only just started. Only just started, so don't worry about that. Yes, I was a little late. Yes, I was going about my general pre-stream tasks, you know, having quick snack, drink of water, brush teeth, and I was trying to wash my face, and I put on my headband to hold my hair out of the way, and then I felt something drop on the palm of my hand. I'm like, oh, what's that? And I looked down, and there's a spider on my palm. Ah! I blew him off into the sink. But yes, I don't like flushing spiders down sinks, so I waited for him to crawl to the side before continuing to wash. So I imagine he is still there, happily being a spider in my sink. So I will have to deal with him later. So yes, that delayed me a little bit. But yes, everything pulled together all right. Oh dear. Hi Mickey, hello, hello. Yes, we are only just getting started because I am a bit late. So what are your goals? Okay, so I've taken a bunch of notes to sort of try to guide what I talk about here, but I'm probably just going to wind up ignoring most of them. But yes, goals. My goal is to... oh no. I think I hear the small one crying. Just give me a minute. I'm so sorry, I just got to pop away just for a minute to double check on her. I'll be right back. waiting, sorry. She's quiet again, but I have no idea how long it'll last, I'm sorry. She is still a little ill, so if she has trouble going back to sleep, I may be in and out. But, you know, the way she gets when she wakes up at night, I don't think there's really much benefit to me going to her. She's just wants to be asleep again, and nothing I can do can cheer her up until she's asleep again. Oh dear. So, I should probably just try to jump into it. Okay, so my aim is to finalize as best I can the conlang for my main magical project, of which it won't be actually used very much as a conlang because it's the main language being spoken, so everything said in the conlang as such will be said in English on the page. So yeah, there's a few other languages in this world that I may actually have to write a little bit of in the story, so I'll look at making those ones at another time, but I wanted to work on the main one, mostly so I can make sure all the place names and names are correct. But it would be fun to, you know, pull together enough of the grammar and such that we can start to think about how I would say some simple things. Okay, so I'm gonna have a look at the notes I took for this. So, my note says, Blue's general relationship with conlangs over the years. So, whenever I've needed the other language, are these other languages related to the one replaced by English? Well, this language isn't the sort of English equivalent in that world, it's just the language spoken by the majority of people in this city where the story's taking place, but it's not the English equivalent. That would be Taurish, which is one I may have to fiddle around with at one point. But I suppose it's one of the international languages in this world. Taurish is one of the international languages. This one would be, or at least, if not this one, it's sort of the modern version of the language that this language was derived from. Two pathways. No, I understand that. Sorry. I misunderstood. But, oh dear, sorry, my head. And another language which the working name is Dartembur is another international language that a lot of people speak. Mind telling me why it's an international language? I guess it's sort of because this city has become the unofficial capital, and so, you know, just by virtue of that, almost a lot of people learn it. And, you know, another country very nearby this is a city-state, but an adjacent country which is very large is one of the world powers, or current world powers. They're sort of trying to phase these things out as best they can. But yes, a lot of business takes place in this language as well as the others. And I'm guessing, you know, lots of business takes place, lots of kids learn it. It's just, if someone knows a language besides their own first language, it's usually, you know, one or all of these ones, because I'm guessing it's just the most useful to do business and such. Oh dear, but honestly have not thought too deeply about that at this point. The main reason I need conlangs really is to make sure the naming systems work and all the place names and people names sound like they actually come from a language and it's the same language. So, originally, you know, back when I was a much harder world builder, I still wasn't very big on conlangs. I suppose I hadn't even really come across the concept of conlanging. I was just making up words when I needed them, and usually trying to make them sound like they came from the same language. And this usually worked to an extent, just sort of making them up, because I usually stuck with making them sound kind of a bit English-like or a bit Japanese-like, because they're the languages I'm most familiar with and I'm the most comfortable with messing around with them. But it kind of got to the point, I guess, and that just wasn't enough. Do you have an etymology behind your language's names? Not at this point. Not at this point. Those things may be figured out at one point, or they may not, because I am, sadly maybe to some people, I am not a very heavy world builder. I love world building, but I love to sort of build my worlds around the stories as opposed to slot my stories into worlds. That's just me. You're really familiar with Japanese? Reasonably. I studied it through high school and at university, and I lived there for a while, so I'm quite familiar with it. I can't speak it very well anymore. Oh, I also speak Spanish. That's a good language. That's a useful one. I do not speak a word of Spanish. Possibly a few random words that I might have picked up from Sesame Street, but other than that, no Spanish. Oh dear, it's yes. Even, I'm not familiar with a huge number of linguistic terms even. I know very little of linguistics. I just need languages for my stories. So, yes, it got to the point where just sort of making up words when I needed them and trying to make names sound like they come from the same language just wasn't really enough. But I was, and still am, very sort of intimidated by conlangs. And I'm taking Spanish classes, and while I have to reach my goal of being trilingual, oh, that would be amazing. I am definitely not even bilingual. I don't think I ever was. My Japanese has never been quite up to scratch, no matter how much I studied it. My head just keeps trying to directly interpret things. I'm like, this is not how languages work, but my head just won't listen. So it makes it difficult to understand things. So whenever anyone talks in Portuguese or Italian, I can make out some of what they're saying. That is super useful. That's really cool when languages can do that. Wow. Reach goal. Yes, yes. No. Yes. Yes, even though I am a huge Tolkien admirer, I've never sort of felt the urge to go full on Tolkien with languages. I guess it's because, as I mentioned before, because the likelihood of much of any conlang, or the main conlang sort of for the story, being actually featured in the prose, in the writing, is quite low, because they are speaking the language. That is the language these people are speaking. So it just feels odd to me to sort of include much of that language in the actual text of the story when they're speaking it anyway. We're just reading it as in the sort of English translation. I guess that's what my head always thought. It always feels a little odd when I'm reading like a story. Oh, I think there was one recently. It was a fantasy world inspired by some Spain and Spanish culture, just while we're talking about Spanish, and just occasional random Spanish phrases were used. I'm like, why are they're not speaking English and then speaking Spanish. They are always speaking this Spanish language, so why would we randomly swap? Doesn't quite compute in my head. So I'm guessing that's, one reason why I've never felt the urge to go all out. Ooh. Kind of like me with Norwegian and Danish. Ooh, that works too. That's so useful. I was looking at Danish the other day. Like, that might be a fun language to learn. I think I learned how to say my name is... What was it? Henrik. I learned how to say my name is Henrik, but I've forgotten it now. Oh, Apple Oxide, hello. Learning Japanese makes you able to pretend you can read Chinese even though you really can't. I think what some people can do is they can get the general gist of it. They can't read it, but they can get maybe the gist of what's going on. Not in any detail, but just very, very general ideas. I can't, but some people who are quite good at Japanese maybe. I don't think it goes the other way because Japanese always includes hiragana and such as well. But with Spanish, it's weird. Sí can mean either yes or if, depending on context. Well, there's a few things like that with the Japanese as well that I remember. Like kekko desu can either mean sort of yes, I want some, or no, I don't want any, depending on the tone. There's probably a few other things along those lines too. Like how in Swedish the words for married and poison is the same. Is it weird that that seems oddly apt in some situations? Oh dear. Oh dear. So, what we do? Yes, it's probably just a sort of me issue with having random phrases actually written in the conlang when we know they are actually speaking in the conlang. We're just reading it as English. Sorry. I'm probably making things very confusing. But yes. So again, the main reason I sort of need it is for naming conventions. I need names to sound like they belong in the same language. I used to get so frustrated reading some fantasy books and the names just sound plucked out of thin air. It's like, these people do not sound like they were born in the same place. Also, tomten can mean either the yard or stanta. Okay. Yes, things. Context. Context is an important thing. Oh dear, here we are. So, for me, given I have no background in linguistics and, you know, all the various life-related factors I've got going for me, you know, limiting time and energy and all of that, along with those things I just talked about my uncertainty about actually using the main conlang in the story. So sort of delving into conlangs is always going to be a little interesting for me, which, yeah. Well, mainly, you know, about having the time and energy. I don't know if or when I'm ever going to have time to fully get into linguistics so I can do it properly. But, oh, it's based on the accent. Ooh. Oh, languages are great. Just not any I create, it seems. But anyway, yes, getting up to linguistic speed in order to actually make a conlang doesn't seem particularly viable at this point. And, armchair linguist with a background in Wikipedia of me. Oh, goodness me. You are also very welcome to heckle me as we go. Just do it kindly, please. Kind heckling is very appreciated and also pretty funny. And, you know, deserved on my part. Of course it's going to be hard. Real-life languages are thousands of years in the making. Like how apparently Old English sounds. Nothing like modern English. Oh, yes, indeed. But I've found a few resources that can help people like me. One of them being someone that some of you might know, the lovely world-building VTuber Amai Guri. She has a really, really good video about making conlangs with very little linguistic background. And I did talk to her about it, and she's very happy for me to play a little bit. So I might just play the intro, and I may or may not jump to other parts if required, but I'll just play the intro so you can see what I'm talking about, and it's very, very useful. Let's see if I arrange this properly. Can I swap? Can I swap? Where am I? That's the wrong one. Here I am. There we go, I did it. I know it looks very simple, but I spent a while figuring out exactly how to move things around smoothly. And I need to unmute the browser sound, and I did a test, so it had better work. So, this is How to Make a Fantasy Language Without Linguistics by My Goody. We're just going to watch the first 2 minutes or so, and I might, you know, talk quietly. I don't want to talk over the top of it, though, because that's rude. So, here we go, hoping so much it works. Oh, Hiroshi Nekomi, and how are you today? I am okay. I've started feeling a little better since started streaming, which is good. And the small one is still asleep again, so fingers crossed. I only have 3 issues of conlanging and a lot of time spent watching, Bibloridion? Is that another YouTuber whom I should possibly investigate? Probably. Anyway, here is the intro for how to make a fantasy language without linguistics, and I have provided the link in the description if you would like to go and check out the video yourself or subscribe to my goodie. And I would recommend subscribing to her because just the world building prowess, it's quite incredible. I am so far behind in terms of world building, but I very much appreciate all of her guidance. So let's have a look. Oh, he's in your recommendation tabs right now. Oh, there we are. I shall have a look at another point. Thank you. Here we go. Let me know if you can't hear it, and I'll see if I can
How to make a language in 7 easy steps. Linguists hate her. Conlanging is the art of constructing languages, and it's very difficult to do it well. The typical gold standard of conlanging for world building and storytelling is to make a language that is naturalistically formed with an older version of the language, or proto-lang, that evolves over in-world time in fiction to form a modern version of the language. And doing this well requires a pretty comprehensive understanding of linguistics and other languages, but it's also what the likes of Tolkien did for his Elvish language families, and it's what David J. Peterson did for Dothraki from Game of Thrones. And so lots of people want to try to do it, but not everyone has that kind of time or energy. But they would still like a functioning and phonoaesthetically pleasing language for their story world, or sometimes as a meme, or sometimes for personal reasons, as a secret code, or as an art language to explore philosophy, or any other number of reasons. Let's do. If this is you, because it's definitely me, then you're in the right place. We're going to make today what is typically called a toy lang. It's going to act loosely naturalistically, and it will at the very...
Okay, so I'm definitely not going to go through the whole video because it is quite long. I'm just going to play a little bit more. I'm not going to make the toy lang as such because I've done a fair amount of work on this language already, just going down using other tools, which I will show to you soon. But we'll just play a little bit more. Oh, Biblaridion's Conlanging Guide is the most comprehensive single resource I've known on YouTube, but it's a bit dense and bears repeat viewing. Okay. I may have a look at that one another time too. There's a few languages on my list, not just for this story, but for other stories as well, which I think I'll have to go down this, doing it manually in this sort of style, because I've thought of a few random words for it that I really like. I just don't know how to make it work on my other way, which I'll be showing you soon after this. Oh, I've taken notes in this video, so I don't need to rewatch it anymore. That's useful. That's a useful way to go about things. Okay, just gonna play a little bit more.
At least sound cool. So just follow these simple steps and you'll have a pretty functional little engineered language for your use and whatever.
Make language.
So, step 0. Gather existing words. Did you preemptively start a language before you had this guide and you want to incorporate those words into a full conlang? That's great. Gather them into a list. I will be proceeding as if you had no grammar rules yet. You probably have grammar rules, whether you know it or not, but this guide is going to pretend like you don't.
I have none, don't
Step
worry.
1. Figure out your language goals. Figure out what you want your language to do, what purpose you want it to serve, what culture you want it to represent, or what aesthetic you want it to have, or all of them.
This is something I've never thought about, honestly. So I will eventually have to think about this, won't I? Oh dear. It's I was having a few random thoughts. I guess a lot of what I do will just be sort of working backwards, which isn't always the best thing to do, but we work with what we've got.
Of them. Write that down. This can help guide your decisions later in the process. For example, here's my objective from my seal tongue conlang. To create a very simple, ocean-oriented language which can inspire the slang of South Keys and form songs.
Like
Basically intended to be the Toki Ponita of my world, with some Kailani relationals thrown in for good measure. Generally very minimalistic, it should be easy to sing, sound Japanese and Norse. As you can see, mine states the cultural purpose, some grammar notes.
Might finish up there. It's, yes, a very, very useful resource. And I will definitely be looking into these techniques. Let's just have a look at all the steps here in the chapters. So language sounds, grammar syntax, consonants and vowels, words, and yes, I'll be jumping probably to this point a little bit later to, not word making, look at the sentence examples. I've taken down her examples for fun, but yes, I probably won't actually be able to translate very many once I get the language going, because I'll need to think about a few other things first, but we'll give a couple of them a go. Oh, dearie me. Yes, and writing system. Oh dear. I don't think I can create the writing systems. I can be talking about them in the stories, but actually making them might be a little beyond me. Be right back. Need lunch. Enjoy lunch, English class. Yeah, my head just never sort of really wrapped around many things along these lines. I remember when I was teaching English in Japan, and all the kids there learning all these proper English terms like gerund. I'm like, I don't even know what a gerund is. That's just not how it was taught to me. Oh dear. So it's a good thing I didn't have to teach those things. Oh dear. Let us jump back over here for a little bit. So this is just, you know, Excel document for gathering everything together at a later date. But yeah, this is just a list of place names and given names and surnames and business names and such that I already have, which will work in this language, hopefully. And I've made notes where I don't think they'll work anymore, where I've changed my mind about some things. Well, having well-defined goals from the beginning makes it easier to tell if what you're doing it well and what choices you want to lean into. Yes, I'm not sure. For me, the goals are, I suppose it works to know just a little bit about, yeah, just let me open up a new thing. So, where are we? Let me just go through a little bit more of this first and then we'll have a look. So, like I said, I'll probably be going through in this fashion, as my goodie was talking about it, for future languages. Yes, there's a few other languages in this story I'll have to work on where that technique will be much better. But I've done quite a bit of work on this particular language we'll be looking at already, just sort of because I needed the names for the story, and so I just, you know, mashed stuff together as best I could, and I've been picking at it and changing it as we go, and, you know, finding where things are no longer correct and fixing them up, and it's, you know, not ideal, but it's what I've been working with. So this language, it's currently called the Sejun dialect. It's, you know, says dialect. It's pretty much a separate language now to what it derived, the language it derived from. You know, still a fair number of similarities, which probably means I'm never going to actually make the other language except for a few words, because it'll just get way too confusing to sort of work backwards to previous versions of the language, because, yeah, it terrifies me. So probably not. Ah, dear. Where are we? But yes, this is the dominant language spoken in the city where my main magical project is set, which is a city-state, which, as I said, is sort of the unofficial global capital. And so I guess, yes, it's a conlang I sort of prepared earlier, but it needs a lot of work. Oh dear. Oh god, conlangs. That's a piece to always run away from. Oh yes, me too mostly, which is why I'm sort of in this messy mess of my own conlang. But hopefully we'll tidy it up a little bit. Hello, Crater Fish. Lovely to see you. Oh dear. So, you probably want to know how I've, you know, pulled this language together and sort of kept track of it without, following proper from scratch steps. And that would be, just give me a second, sorry. This. Hello. Yes, this is Vulgalang, and it is a fantasy language generator. And I hope all of you hard world builders there do not sneer at me in disgust. I have no problem with using tools at my disposal. And it's actually taken a lot of time trying to figure out how to use it reasonably well. Nowhere near the amount of time it would take to learn linguistics properly. But I've spent a lot of time making this do sort of what I want it to do. And yes, I looked at this site briefly with you way back when I was doing my NaNoWriMo streams, when I was just trying to pull together enough of a language to make, again, the naming systems work. Because at this point I haven't really paid attention to the dictionaries generated or to the grammar very much. It's been mostly names. Oh, conlang also depends on the target audience, right? If it's intended for English readers, then the conlang should be similar to English, right? Like it wouldn't work for Polish readers. I'm not sure. I mean, maybe audience could play into it sometimes, but I suppose I live in the hope that my works could sometimes be translated into many languages. I don't know. Maybe that's something some people would want to consider. I've never thought about that, honestly. Well, that definitely applies to the romanizations. It's a good rule, though I break it sometimes. Rules are made to be broken. Sometimes. Oh dear. Yes, so we used Vulgalang during the NaNoWriMo streams. So it's very useful for novelists and creatives such as myself, again with a very little linguistics background, who just need a language, as opposed to needing to sort of build the whole world around things and make everything work, which, in a perfect world, I'm sure most writers would adore doing that, but some people it just doesn't work. Oh dear. Where are we? So yes, it's also actually really good for D&D, I hear, and generating languages and names and such for D&D campaigns. Oh dear. So for people with little to no skill in linguistics, for those lacking time, energy, other things, maybe it's a bit of a crutch. Maybe some people just might view it as a crutch and want to have nothing to do with it, and that's fine. That's fine for them, but I don't mind. Don't mind a crutch now and then. My two sources of writing aids, Reddit and Moonfeatherblue, add another to the list. Oh dear, I think the small one's crying again. I'm so sorry. Oh, using random word generation is very common. I recently started using them too. Offloads the strain of having to come up with word forms over and over. Yes, I think it is a very useful tool. I'm so sorry, I just have to jump and see if I can settle down the small one. I'm so sorry. I hope it doesn't wind up cutting the stream short, but we'll see how we go. I'll hopefully won't be too long. Hello, sorry. She is not settled yet, sadly. I just, without trying to delve into these sort of problems here, I'm just not sure there's much more I can do except let her try to sort it out. Oh dear. Oh dear. If she gets really bad, I'll go back to her, but, she doesn't let me do anything when she's this upset. Oh dear. Okay. So. Where are we? Oh dear. Yes. Maybe Volgalang is a little bit of a crutch, but like I said, I'm happy to use the tools that are available to me. And I'm very grateful to things like Volgalang and to creators like Amaiguri for providing such wonderful resources and advice to writers like me. So, like I said, this language, the main language used in the city where the main magical project is set, how many times have I said main in that sentence? Is the Sejong dialect. It's very heavily influenced by Japanese, as a lot of my languages used to be. It's not only because I'm quite familiar with Japanese and therefore more comfortable with messing around with it, but also this story is based on a fan fiction, and the original source material for the fan fiction was set in Japan, so it just sort of makes more sense in my head for it to be inspired by Japanese. But yes, I don't want it to feel too Japanese, because that's a mistake I made with a story cycle, which I used to write, which I'll hopefully continue writing at one point. And I'll have to fix pretty much everything language related in that story, change most of the names, because I actually used Japanese words to make place names, which is definitely a bit of a no-no now for me, at least. So, do we know this source material? You may. I'm choosing at this point not to divulge it, because when people read the story, I think if you're very, very familiar with the source material, you'll be able to pick it up. I think people familiar with it will be able to pick it up, and those who aren't familiar with it don't have to pick it up. So, yeah. If it helps, it is an anime. But I suppose set in Japan might give that away anyway. Oh dear. So yes, I wanted to change this language from being too Japanese sounding, so I've taken inspiration from a few other languages. Just as I looked at Korean as well, and I also looked a little bit at Mandarin, just mostly for sounds more than anything else, to mix things around a bit. Right, gotta grab the corkboard and red string for this one. Well, if you want to make it feel less Japanese, you got to add aspirated and/or ejective consonants instead of voiced. It's an option, and I'll probably do that for other things. This one, I'm probably gonna stay a bit lazy with this one, but you'll be able to have a look at what I've got, and then you can scrutinize me and maybe give me some other thoughts. But I suppose the main thing is I like all my character names, so I need them all to work in this. Yeah. No, it'll be much more interesting when I'm sort of making languages more from scratch. But given this is the first one, and I need to fix up this language sort of imminently anyway, I thought I'd stick with this to start with. Oh, it's almost as in Korean. Okay. Oh, M. Wilson. Hello, you have a great hat. Where does one get one? If only I knew. This hat was a gift. It came with my skin, you see. The hat and the skin, the whole ensemble. Yes, I acquired it as a gift, maybe? Oh dear, it is a fine hat. Holds all my spare quills. Oh, Koreans dot distinctions are their own beast men. Oh, I suppose all languages have their own beast, and I guess the beauty of the Conlangs is I don't have to delve that deeply. It might be fun, but not right now. Oh dear. So, where am I? Yes. It's mostly phonemes, if I'm even pronouncing that correctly. That's important for me in pulling this language together, and the sound of it, being Japanese based with inspiration from a few other languages. I hadn't really thought too much about actually crafting the language in terms of grammar and such, but Vulgalang can very much help with that when I don't have a clue what I'm doing. Oh, Moon killed a man and then wore their clothes just to flex. Yeah, I can't understand the difference between the geminated and tensed consonants. Geminated, there we go, geminated and tensed consonants. Yes, no, me neither. I know nothing. But I can press generate new language, and I may just do that for fun before we get started. Oh dear. So yes, I have made many different versions of this language using Vulgalang, and I've never been entirely happy with them, and as I said, I've sort of changed rules and taken sounds out and added sounds in as I'm going. So I have gathered most of what I definitely want to use that I already have in that list in the Excel document, the names and some place names and such. I'd be happy to change place names if I have to, but all the main given names I have, and most of the surnames, I want to keep them. I've gotten to the point where I'm very, very attached to them, so I want to keep those ones. So they'll need to work, and they should do. Oh dear. I've gathered together sort of most of what I want to use for this language from all the various iterations. And we'll enter it all in together and generate what could possibly be a sort of finalish version. I may not stick with the entire dictionary as it is, because it's also possible to generate, lots of different versions using the same input. So we just could generate a massive amount of words that we can draw from and mix and match and build our own dictionaries from it, which is probably what I'm going to do, because there's a few random words, well, not just random words, like I like the idea of most place names and given names being, word names and coming from the actual language as opposed to derived from older things. I guess, again, quite Japanese, like ikebukuro, isn't that like pond bag or something, I think? And names like Hanako, flower child. I just like the idea of most names in this world being along those lines. I'm here if you need help with the IPA symbols. That's wonderful. I still haven't learned how to read all of them. I can recognize a lot of the ones which I've been using more often, but definitely not all of them. And grammar. I am a writer who does not... I'm not only writer, I am a writer and a library who is no good with grammar. I had a language called Kelde, and then 2 years later I realized that the language didn't have the letter K when that's the first letter of the name. An easy mistake, friend. Oh dear. I think for this one I decided I wanted to remove the existence of W, and then I realized the name of a country that used this language began with a W. I know some non-speakers who think Shanghainese sounds like Japanese. That'd be a cool thing to draw inspiration from, maybe. That is interesting. Pond bag, yeah. Ikebukuro. I love Ikebukuro. Evidentiality is my bread and butter. Evidentiality is my bread and butter. Sorry, just swapping to read it from somewhere else, because it's that love heart. I love the love heart, but it covers up some of the chat. Okay. But yes, the most obvious words that I'll have to change to bring other things in is for my main character, Kazayo, because he in fact chose that name, or I think his foster mum, his mum, actually chose it for him, because he's got a Taurish name because his father was Taurish, but hates father, wants no association with that name being named after his dad, so he picked a new name in, Szechuan dialect is his first language. That's the language he grew up speaking. That's the kind of names his family has. He wants to feel more a part of his family, so he wants a name like this. He hates his official name. And I think he originally wanted to go with a popular name that means firstborn son, but there's a bit of controversy around that, given although he's the oldest of his siblings, he's technically not the firstborn for his foster mother, or in that family in particular. So there's a lot of controversy around that, particularly given firstborn son is very, very much revered in this culture. So there's some tension around that. But, well, I am an ESL who learned intuitive grammar from the sheer magnitude of reading. I know not a single grammar structure by name. Yes, I'm along those lines as well. Teaching English in Japan. I almost said teaching Japanese in Japan. I better not be ever caught doing that. Yes, I don't know any of the technical terms. I can't hear the small one anymore, so I'm guessing she has managed to fall asleep again. I hope she's all right. Oh dear. Whoa, my head has just gone everywhere. Where am I? Yes, Kazayo, his name Kazayo that he winds up getting. I want the ka from Kazayo to mean true or truth or have that sort of meaning, and I want the zayo to mean flame or fire, because he is my fire magical boy, and I like things making sense like that occasionally. Because that can be another sort of self-aware thing that they can refer to later on in the story, like, how is it that your name means true fire and you just happen to be the fire magical boy? It's like, well, I don't know. Because it's cute. Oh, did your guys' elementary schools have you read that story where the firstborn son gets the long name and the second is short, so when the second fell into a well, they could save him, but the first one fell? I haven't read the story, but I've heard of it. I think it was referred to in a Babysitter's Club book. Oh. Then you have the diphthong O and upside down omega symbol. Oh wow. Oh wow. Yes, diphthongs. There's going to be a lot of those in this language. I think in this language I want each sort of diphthong combination to be thought of as its own vowel. Oh, it took too long to say his name to get help when he died in the well. It's a pretty depressing children's story. But many are. Isn't it odd how many... Well, not odd. I imagine there's a reason so many fairy tales are depressing. They're warnings. They are warnings. Oh, as someone living in an English country, half the people on the street wouldn't be able to tell you what an adjective is. It's fine. I feel reassured. I know what an adjective is, but not much further than that. Oh dear. So, yes. This is just, looking at my notes, just a vague sort of thoughts and histories on the Sejong dialect. Okay, so it's its own language, but it evolved from a language of a neighbouring country when most of the people who now live in the city-state Sejong, they emigrated from there about 1,000 years ago. That's the working right now, about 1,000 years ago. And I think that language is still written in pictography, symbols or characters. In Sejong, they still occasionally use them for ultra-formal stuff, but they have their own system of writing now, which is much easier for more people to use. The upside-down omega in the MRI marks the central sulcus. It separates the primary motor cortex from the sensory cortex. I'm sure that's not at all relevant to conlangs, but hey, no, I was just pleased that I recognised the term central sulcus. It's been so long since I've done any anatomy. They read about a homeless child in South America that had got abandoned by parents and addicted to shoemaker's glue. Oh dear. You read that in elementary school? That's intense. Oh dear. Oh, where are we? So yes, if I feel so motivated at one point, I'll probably make, or at least try to design the writing system for Sejong. I am very sort of intrigued by Hangul, so I may have a bit of a look at Hangul and try to be inspired by that. And I kind of like the idea of the characters, the pictography from, the language that the Sejong dialect came from, to maybe be sort of labyrinthine based. And so each word has its own sort of labyrinth symbol, which, I liked the idea, but maybe it doesn't make much sense because it'd be almost impossible to write. Oh dear. We'll have to think about that more. Labyrinths, in any case, are sort of very popular as such in Sejong. There's lots of labyrinths to wander through. Kaz gets to go into one that's made of hydrangea hedges. That one's nice. And most surnames have their own sort of special labyrinth that's special for the family and the surname, so that's nice. Hangul is apparently really easy to pick up, like in a day or so. I'd say go for it. I've looked at it a couple of times, probably not closely enough to actually pick it up in a day, but yes, Hangul is incredibly interesting, so I will look at that more. Oh, and a book about a trans boy that fell in love with another boy, and we stopped reading at the lowest point and thought about slushed. Sorry. Oh dear. Oh dear. These are awfully heavy books for elementary school. So I was skipping over my random thoughts for more of the writing system because I'm probably not going to wind up doing it. I suppose, yeah, it would have been easier in the long run if I'd been able to make sort of the proto-language and then go on and make the Sejong dialect and the other language that has, you know, evolved from the same proto-language which the neighbouring country would now speak, but can't do it. I'm going to focus on the Sejong dialect. Oh, shout out to anyone that read Watership Down as a young child. We did not as well. No, I haven't read that. I keep meaning to have a look at it. I just remember, because I think in The Stand, Stu talked about reading Watership Down. I think that might have been the first time I'd heard of it, maybe. I did read The Velveteen Rabbit. That one got me. Oh dear. Oh dear. So sorry, I've been doing a lot of random rambling, which I don't know how useful or interesting it was, but okay. So I'm just gonna do this very quickly and just think about larger font, please. I want everyone to be able to read it. Okay. Inspired by Japanese, Korean, Mandarin, with a bit of randomness thrown in. Oh, no, I read Harry Potter, now I regret it. Percy Jackson is better, especially the author. I haven't read Percy Jackson, I keep meaning to. And yes, we may have discussed briefly last time, why are you not working? Is that why? Yes, that's why. Yes, discussed briefly authors who are pieces of work last stream. We read Sadako and the Thousand Paper Cranes and got sad because she died in the Hiroshima radiation. Yes, we did read that one. We read the picture book, a picture book version of it, and I remember in particular because the author of the picture book version that we read was coming to talk to us. This was when I was in grade 4, I think, so I would have been 8 or 9. Was coming to talk to us at the school, and I was super excited. And that week there were also a bunch of other things, like the school fete, or the school carnival, and my grade was also going on a trip to a theme park. And guess what week young Blue decided to have chicken pox? I missed all of it. Ooh, got that Slavic je. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of that in there. The Sejong. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it the way it is in Slavic. I just wanted to have the sound like in treasure. The treasure sound, and use that a lot. I think it's also in Mandarin a lot, or something similar to that sound. But I wanted to write it. Oh no, I think yes, with that IPA symbol. That's the one I'm looking at. Oh, I would have been devastated. My little life would have been over. I was very, very, very unhappy. But the way it worked, one of my siblings had it the week before. The rest of us had it the next week. Oh dear, that's how it works with large families, I guess. So, inspired by Japanese, Korean, Mandarin with a bit of randomness thrown in. the randomness coming from the je and also a few of the other word endings that I've decided to throw in there. Okay, what else? Oh yes, so just briefly about it. So I'm guessing, you know, if you know the Sejun dialect again, maybe you could be able to pick up bits and pieces of stuff spoken in this other language now. I think the other language is something like Valian or something, but I'm not 100% on that. Mean you described East Asia. Well, probably. Kind of like the idea of it being a very concise and specific language that, you know, doesn't allow for much misunderstanding. But that's not really going to come through much in the language generation, really. I hate that. Mum compares me with Percy specifically as ADHD traits, and she still decides to not try to diagnose me because my masking got too good. Probably not diagnosed, and I hope I'm not neurodivergent. No, hey, but life would be easier if I wasn't. I suppose that's definitely a way to look at it. Yeah, I think along quite a few of those lines for myself at the moment too. I've shied away from ever trying to get diagnosed at this point, mostly because where I live, it's practically impossible to, mental health care is a bit difficult around here. So getting diagnosed, let alone getting treatment, would be difficult. But given how I've worked my whole life and, you know, been thinking about a lot over the past 5 years or so, I'm reasonably certain I'm on the spectrum and possibly have ADHD as well. It will definitely help explain why I can't finish anything, and I just keep jumping between stories and going back to the beginnings, and 15 years on the same story, I'm never actually able to finish it. Also, I might be able to talk to people. That would be nice if I could do that, maybe. Oh dear. But yes, I am never sure about actually claiming that I am when I'm not diagnosed, so I, don't really talk about it too much just in case, because I think at this point I would just feel like a total jerk if I, wound up being that I wasn't. So, and plus, if it turns out that I'm not, like, what else is going on with me then? Ooh, concise and specific are kind of conflicting, but definitely reconcilable. You being more concise generally means leaving more to context. Okay, well, you're not alone not finishing things. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's tough to deal with, and I guess I've just been getting more and more frustrated when I'm just getting nothing done. Yes, well, I might just put an asterisk on these, because this is just random stuff that I've been thinking. Well, this is just a personal one for me. I like languages that sound musical, but I don't know if what I already have for this would sound particularly musical. I'll just put it down here. I don't know. Not on the spectrum, but am diverging my neuro. Oh, what a lovely way to phrase it. I haven't really thought about it enough. I kind of wish I had now, but I guess I'll just keep thinking about it sort of and working backwards. I suppose it'd be interesting for you to for me to get your thoughts on how things look like as we're pulling it together. Sorry, I don't know if you can read this very well. Let's make it bigger again. Well, if you're going with Japanese and Korean inspiration, which language syllable structure would you use? Oh dear, I'm not sure. I guess I'll just show you what I'm working with and you tell me what you think. Oh, I just got blasted by the thought of an alien race using musical notes for the script. Oh, that would be gorgeous. Oh, I love that. Oh dear. So, yeah, I've probably rambled enough, and I guess as we're going, if you've got any questions, shout them out and I'll try to answer them. But as you can see, me having, not much experience in this and not much experience in linguistics, I don't know if I'll be able to answer them, but we can at least, giggle at my ignorance and then just look at it together and try to work things out. Okay. And yes, if we've got time at the end, I might have a look at trying to translate a few simple example sentences from English. I doubt I'll get very far because I'd have to think about, specific ways things would be said, because, again, nothing's direct translations. So let's just have a look here and I'll show you what I've got to work with. Oh dear. Forbidding PTKBDG from coming at the end of words gets you the most way to being musical. I don't have any of those sounds at the end of my words. I'd have I'll show you in just a minute what I've got at the ends of the world. So yes, hopefully it's already on its way to sounding musical. Thank you. I'm already feeling slightly calmer in that respect. Ancio, hello. Maybe each sentence could have like a rhyme structure, like a poem. That would be fun, but I don't know if people would have the patience to talk like that. Oh dear. Well, I suppose a way to make things rhyme is to just, each type of sentence finishes with a different sound that rhymes with all the other ones. But, because I was thinking something I'd have to add. I do want to sound like the Japanese ka to indicate a question. And possibly we could have things like that to indicate other things at the ends of sentences too. Oh, I'll be right there with you, don't worry. Conjunctions for rhymes. They're good ideas, such good ideas. Oh dear, I think I just have to show you what I've got to work with and you can heckle as required. And yes, like I said, the cool thing about this software is we can just hit generate a new language and let's see what it gives us. This is a language of Top Torti, if I've pronounced that correctly. Top Tort. Oh dear, do I even want to try to pronounce that? Oh. Kuto no ful muash, nek no kufu fumel hu kentwat mamto. Pretty. Okay, so here's their consonant inventory. And they have it in the lovely table that we can follow. I've got the vowels, syllable structure. I'm not paying attention to syllable structure for mine. I'm just putting in all the combinations I want in my phonium stuff because I didn't notice the syllable structure and I don't have time to notice it now. Spelling rules. Is all the grammar stuff. This has the subject, object, verb. For the word order, adjectives before the nouns, using postpositions. It's sort of like the things I want to do. So they use they mark their thes and as noun affixes. Oh dear. So he goes through lots of very, very useful stuff. Ooh, here we go. Numbers. It has a base 10 number system. Mine will too, because that's simpler. Oh? Does this make you unhappy? Or is that just... Oh dear. Apple oxide? You okay? Oh dear. Morphology and the dictionary. And what is it? Vogelang is free to use. I think you get a dictionary of about a few hundred words with the free version. I did shell out to buy the full version. It's not actually too expensive. I think for me it was a bit over 30 Australian dollars at the time, maybe. So not too bad. Oh, analysing unmenacingly. Flockside is devastated. How dare you? I know. How dare I? How dare I? I ruined everything. I'm so sorry. But yes, this is just a randomly generated one. And I suppose I'll leave it up here in case you want to hang on to it if anyone wants me to put it up somewhere for you to look at. But let's go back here. Okay. So let's look at this. Phonology. Please, not too advanced. No. Okay, so I've pulled all of this together. Okay. Can do this. I am feeling very anxious. Very anxious. Is Moon cutting in and out for anyone else? Is that just the storm effing with your internet? I think I cut out a little bit at the beginning, which may have put you all slightly behind. I'm sorry. But I think in general it's okay. I haven't gotten any notices recently that it's screwing up. Thought you said phrenology. Not phrenology, I promise. Be right back. See you in a minute, Alfie. Okay, so my initial consonants. Okay, so I'm just indicating exactly what I want as opposed to throwing in. Where am I? Yes, as opposed to doing the consonant vowel structure, I'm just putting in exactly what I want because hopefully that will help. And I've also already sort of arranged in order for phoneme frequency, and we'll have it at a medium drop off, which means phonemes are ranked by the frequency from left to right, and the fast rate, if it's fast, makes the more frequent ones more frequent, and medium creates the more even spread. So I'm going for a slightly more even spread here. So we have the M sound, we've got the j, we've got the y, the S and the SH sound, the N sound, the T sound, the L sound. I did a lot of debating back and forth what to do with the L and R sounds because I think I'd originally had just the one that sort of combines them the way it does in Japanese, the R, instead of the R or the L. But I think I'm just throwing them both in there just for a bit of variety. Got the, although I might swap them around. I think I want R to be a bit more common than L. In fact, let's pop L all the way back here. L can be a bit more uncommon. Ugh. Where are we? The J versus the J distinction is pretty epic. It's difficult. It's difficult, but I want it there. I suppose some of it's there as well with some of the diphthongs I've got along with the Y, the Y sound can get a little interesting hearing the difference, but the differences are there. It's just difficult to hear sometimes. Did you go for palaticized phonemes? I can't remember. We'll see when my stuff pops up, my tables and everything. I'm so sorry. I'm just not familiar enough with the terms to be able to answer you definitively. I'm sorry. Blue knows nothing. Ah, dear. Oh yeah, the J as well. That one's fun. I do want it though. I do want it. It's sayable. So yes, where do we get up to? This one's ch, isn't it? That one's ch, I think. And the p, z, b, j, v sound, the k sound, this th sound, the l. I really wanted to specify having the ts because it's one of my favorite things that's frequently in Japanese. So got the ts there. The ts makes me happy. And I did want to have all the combinations with the because I like it. So it's there. Okay, so the mid-word consonants. This is a very, very long list because I was just popping in everything that I want to be able to be in the middle of a word. So there's a lot of different combinations there. Sorry. Oh, palaticized is referring to inserting the after the consonant. Okay. So I guess there's a few there then. I'm sorry. I hope it's not too frustrating, me knowing so little. But I am muddling my way through. Here's my massive list of the mid-word consonants. And it's not just the consonants, it's consonant combinations as well. And yes, I've decided not all consonants can go together in the middle of the words. There's some that don't. And I know there's an illegal combination section, but I prefer to just throw everything in here to make it clear. JY for the romanization. Yes. That's the plan. So yes, all of these lovely consonant combinations, popping them all specifically there to make sure it works. And hopefully it will work. If the software yells at me and nothing works, I'll have to look at it another time. Oh dear. Oh no, JY. Going with JY. And whoops, wrong one. And we have word final consonants. Just a few. I wanted the MN sound that Japanese has. I wanted the NG, which I believe pops up a lot in Mandarin. And I wanted all these sort of sounds. It sounded a bit related. The S sound, the Z sound, the TH sound, the SH sound, and the J to also be word final consonants, just to mix things up a bit. And I like it anyway. Bless you. Oh dear. So yes, sorry, the way I'm doing this is probably very, very messy, but it's just how I'm doing it at the moment. I'm sure later, as I get to use the software better, and hopefully as I start to do more from scratch myself, stuff will tidy up slowly. Okay, vowels. As I said, I'm throwing in all the sort of diphthongs in there to act as separate vowels on their own, and also just putting in the longer versions too, because that's how I want to do it. It's not very tidy, but I'm preferring it like this at the moment. So yes, each of these counts in this language as a vowel on its own. Okay, so it was basically a joke. Yes, I got it, don't worry. I got that one. It's pretty funny. Sorry. I guess I am quite anxious about this. I want this language to work, and I want people to not think it is completely silly. Oh, and I suppose another good thing with Volgalang is you can just click one of these languages here and it throws everything in for you. And then you could, mix things up as you like. Like I said, in other versions of this language, I originally had the soft L sound as a final word consonant as well, but I think I'm cutting that out. And originally W's existed. They no longer exist. Oh dear. J does not speak joy. I've used it. Oh dear. So yes, going with the medium drop off here, and I've already arranged the phonemes in roughly the sort of frequency order I want them in. I'm not popping down illegal combinations because I think I've thrown everything in here that can actually happen, so that shouldn't really be an issue. Accidentally swapped to Swedish keyboard. I want to ban the same vowel twice in a row, and I guess I'll have it on ban the same syllable too, because I've with the same combinations there. I don't know. I don't know. So I'll uncheck it for now and hope it just pays attention to what I've popped in there. If I look at the dictionary and it just looks ridiculous, I'll figure I've done something horribly wrong and I'll look at it again. Okay. So I had put vowel at the start of the word. I think I put that at about 10% of words with vowels starting. Maybe I should move it up a bit. Maybe it should be 15. And vowel at the end of the word. Given I have such lovely endings, I was wondering whether I should move that down a little bit to 50% end in. 50% can end in vowels. That sounds nice. Okay. No tones. Tonal languages terrify me. No tones. Not looking at sound changes here. Stress pattern, I wanted it to be non-stressed along the lines of Japanese because that's just how I want it. I want it as a non-stressed language. No stress at all. No stress allowed. Okay, so onto the spelling. I've got the list of how I want things romanized here. And I don't think I've messed it up. And I don't think I've missed out on anything. I think that's all right. Oh dear, nothing custom, no second spelling. It's just, you can see I'm keeping things very simple. And there's, again, probably much tidier, more effective ways to go about things, but I'm sticking with this for now. I'll get better as I make more languages, maybe. So just having, you know, in the language itself, the language is just called session. So it's, you know, name of the language, name of the people, name of the city-state, it's all session. Ooh, contrary to the musical languages like Italian or Japanese, Polish is unironically my favorite language for singing. Ooh, it's so charming. I might have to listen to some singing in Polish now. It's charming. Oh, wow. Oh, wow, I'd like to have a listen now. Oh dear, where are we? Okay, so this will be where everything's generated. I want to include sci-fi vocab. Have some interesting words there. I want the number base to be 10. All of this stuff generally sorts itself out as we go. Parts of speech, morphology. I didn't want to have, you know, masculine or feminine nouns or anything like that. I don't want to play around with that. I prefer not. So yes, that's switched off. Parts of speech morphology switched off. Okay. So grammar. Okay, let's throw in what we want. So I think I'm going to make it suffixes only. If anyone has any other thoughts, let me know, but I think suffixes only. Can use that. Okay, I want to add remote past and remote future. And I think everything else pops up fine. Yeah, all of this should pop up, hopefully. Assuming I don't mess it up, which is actually pretty likely. I was originally in this language going to go with the subject, object, verb along the lines of Japanese, but I think I would just want to go for simplicity's sake. The subject, verb, object. It may be a bit of a coward's way out, but yeah, anything that can make my head spin less at this point. Okay, adjective order. I want them to go before the noun. Well, the adjectives before my nouns, thank you. And we'll just make everything prepositions. Shall we do that? Oh, I made a language that marked case exclusively with prefixes. It was a mistake. Oh dear. Should we force them to be suffixes or make them either? Oh dear. Oh dear. Heavy suffixing might mean you have to consider how it affects the word stress, though. That's a good point. So, oh dear. Should we just make it a combo for everything? Let's combo it. I suppose, if I don't like any of them, I can always mess with them later. Oh dear. Okay, let's just go with either. Go with either. Okay. Noun genders turned off, please. No noun genders, please. Okay. Oh dear. Something that I haven't really seen Vulgalang look at is things like honorific language or humbling language, which will be in this language. I don't know if I'll wind up making it up, but it will definitely be referred to in the story about using honorific language or very purposely not using honorific language. So at one point maybe I'll figure more of that out, but I don't think it's hugely necessary at this point, given I'm pretty much bare bonesing it. And you're probably wondering how I'm going to do any sentence translations when I'm going to have no idea how to work this brand new grammar. And my answer is it's going to be next to impossible, which is why I might lean a little heavily on their smart translator here, which probably won't work hugely well given it'll be direct translations, and I'll have to think more about, how stuff would actually be phrased in this language, particularly if it's going to be very sort of, making sure there's no room for misunderstanding. So imagine it might take a little longer to say some fairly simple phrases. Okay, I think I've filled out everything correctly. Oh dear, why do I feel sick? Okay, so should not feel sick because we do not have to stick with anything. It's just hopefully going to be as close to a final version as possible. And I'll have to mess with the dictionary anyway to make sure words that I already have, that I have their meanings, are in there. And also place names that I have. I'll need to break some of them up and pop them in so they all have meanings, like ikebukuro. Okay. I'm pretty sure I've put everything in right. Let's see what happens. The language of the Sejun dialect. Why do we have the same thing twice in a row? I'm confused. Pue jaia jem jiang pia. I'm saying this very badly. Chao sheim. No, what's that? I should have opened this earlier. Oh dear. I just have to scroll all the way through my bookmarks and I don't really want to show you that. I should have opened the IPA speaker thing that I found. Oh well, another time. I'm already looking at this and not sure I like it. I'm just gonna do it again. There we go, that's a little better. So, Peth zich jem zij she. Peth jizu zij. Sorry, I'm butchering my own language. Sheeth be Kyoshi's. I quite like that. Quite like the sound of that one. Okay, so here are my tables. Probably chosen way too many consonants. I'm sure a lot of my later languages will be, less consonant heavy. So yes, I'll at one point move all of these lovely things across, and I'll consider doing some sort of Conlang showcase once it's more together and I'm more comfortable with it. But oh dear. Yeah, I'm probably way too heavy on the consonants. Oh well. So vowels and the diphthongs, yay. Okay. adpositions are words that express spatial or temporal relations. Mark semantic roles when adpositions come before the noun are called prepositions. Come after they're called postpositions. Okay, so I think I put either, but I think they've set them to prepositions, so we'll see what happens. Okay. So noun singular has no affix, and that's li for dog. Oh, for plural, we duplicate the whole word. I like that. Lili for dogs. That's cute. That's really cute. I like that. Okay, so we do have some articles. Oh dear. I'm not going to go too deeply through the grammar at this point. I'm just having a bit of a look. Im and mwe. Pronouns. I is siom. Me is ji. You is zhao. Or us. Oh dear, I'm definitely butchering my own language, aren't I? Oh dear. No, I'm quite liking how this one came together. Dear, I think I suppose I wouldn't mind some of these sounding a little more similar, but that's okay. Not a necessary thing. Okay, possessive determiners we've got. Hooray. Oh dear. Verbs. Present, past, remote past, future. Oh dear. I think I put remote future too, but I can't see it here. Maybe just not enough room. I don't know. Oh dear. This one's getting to look a little complicated, isn't it? Hooray. Oh, everything's just looking quite long because rugchue, to learn, is a little long. Are they all prefixes? It's all prefixes. Oh dear, I wanted everything to be suffixes. Oh well. Oh well, that's okay. Oh dear. So I'm just staring at this and my mind is just going, what? Because grammar rules right over Blue's head. I'll look at it better later, and if for whatever reason I decide, nup, I can still nope out of here. Let's go down a bit more. Progressive. Progressive aspect refers to actions that are happening at the time of speaking. I am learning. Session dialect uses a standalone particle word for progressive. Particle before the verb. For progressive, okay. Huaj rugtue is learning. Very nice. Oh, and the same thing uses a standalone particle word for habitual. It's actions that happen habitually. And I learn something new every day. Okay. Pausch rugtue learns. Oh dear. Oh, did I miss the numbers? Why do we not have our numbers? Where did our numbers go? Oh, wait, hold on. Nope, not hold on. Where are our numbers? Oh dear. Where are they? Where did our numbers go? Okay. Hold on. Language. List numbers in the grammar section. Minor changes. Where are our numbers? There they are. Oh goodness me, number 9. I might wind up having to change that one. Oh, hi Jay Holloway. Hi Moonfeather. Hope all is well. Glad you're streaming today. Hello, hello. It's lovely to see you. Just trying to pull a language together, as you do. Yes, I think I may wind up picking a different word for 9. That's pushing it. And 100. That's way too much. Oh dear. But yes, hopefully just small changes like that and popping in some of the words I've already got. But here we are. Ooh, city, metropolis. Yay. Ooh, Suj, orchestra choir. That's a good one. Sush, powerful. Yay. Also maybe make a Discord behind the scenes as well. Well, yes, I will be making a Discord at one point. It's just much to do, and so things need to wait their turn. Yes, I'm liking how this looks so far. Sorry, just scrolling through super quick. Oh dear. Oh dear. Well, a lot of languages have surprisingly long words for single digit numbers. Okay. Okay. I will think about it, but I was just looking at this and wondering if I should just make 9 zero or something instead. And maybe 100 just chum. Finish 9. Oh goodness me. I'm not going to dishonor that word by trying to pronounce it. Oh dear. So, I might just pop on over here for a sec and just show you my list of current names that I'm working with. Can I just grab all of you? There we go. So these are the place names and given names and such that I'm reasonably set on, and I'm pretty sure they'll all work with the language we've generated. I hope they will. I think they will. I might just try looking up some of the sounds and making sure they pop up. Where are we? Back over here. Whoa, wrong one for me. There we go. So, well, we know oku can be done. Yep, thing pops up. Ku of course pops up and all can go there, so that's not a problem. Oh dear. Yin. Yeah, these sounds should work. Sheon. Yeah, I've got a district called Sheonjo, so that one will work. I'm pretty sure, I keep just saying I'm pretty sure they'll all work. This is just Blue being incredibly hopeful. Oh dear. So, irrelevant, but place name Sheonjo sounds like a Honkai reference. Oh, I haven't played Honkai, but yeah, or is it Shionjo? Yeah, Shionjo. I've got that as the what was it? A very, very, very trendy shopping area is Shionjo. We've got Okubang. That's the name of the district where Kaz lives. It's been through various iterations, but it's been Okubang for a little while. Yunguane. It's a nearby one where lots of sort of gangster thugs hang out. I think Suezao Shoen was only mentioned once, just referring to its shopping mall at one point. Chainyoi was just mentioned the once. Oenkao has a big shrine. I forget why I have Kiangxie. But Sheonjo I remember because that's the very trending shopping district. The Alliance. Which alliance? I have an alliance in this, but I didn't think I'd written it down somewhere. Oh, Chai Voung Thaum Cham Biannuo Zhenjian I quite like as well. King Sul was from when I still had the soft L, so now King Sum should work. Tuanbei and Maironge. So those are all the district place names I'm working with at the moment. I'm pretty sure they should all work with this newly generated language. Pretty sure. Pretty sure. Oh dear. These are just some more said in English for now. The Soj Salt Flats, Cheosang Mountains, Chaiwin Forest. So the big thing is I need the names to fit. I'm pretty sure they all do. Just let me double check. Sai pops up. Doopy doopy doo. Sorry, jumping around a lot. Yep, Sai pops up. Min Ming. Yep. Oh dear, they've got Suen. Suen there meaning medicine. That's one of my characters' names. I may have to look at that. Use. Jen is there, yeah. I think everything should work. I think it might just be, I'll have to add a few more place names and random things beginning with L, because I don't think I have. What's your name, kid? Amoxicillin. Yes, I may be changing that. Although I was thinking I'd prefer Suen to be Su-en as opposed to the one with the diphthong, which is that one. So I'll just have to find a way to make that distinct somehow. I don't know if I'll be able to do in the romanization, but at least in pronunciation guides, that'll be clear. Hello, my name is Drugs. Yes, I will be changing the meaning for that one. I think I wanted Suen to mean light or bright or something along those lines. Oh dear, mine head, she spins. Oh dear. Well, maybe we could even just get a few simple ones done, like my name is, or hello, my name is. Oh, is it absolutely terrible if I look at the smart translator? Can only currently translate particular kinds of sentences. If it can't translate the sentence, you can turn off the smart translation and manually attach the correct affixes to the words in the sentence. Use underscore to hook compound words. Oh dear. I think I'll just stick to smart, and then we'll probably just have to turn it off. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Oh dear. So, if we just type in, hello, my name is Blue. Yashem Siom Kepiage. There's no. That's right. Guess there is no is. How am I going to figure this out? I have to look at the grammar and figure it out. Oh no. Oh no. So, how do we make is? Show me the is. Is? Can is? Where is? Oh dear. How to is? How is? Where is? Oh dear. Doesn't work there. Oh no, my brain is latching onto using this website right now. I can't. I have to do a whole tone overhaul and fix character voice before Conlangs. I'm sorry. You don't necessarily need a verb is if it goes without it. Okay. So meaning we can just cut this and go straight and have it as hello, my name Blue. as the bad English direct translation. Okay. I mean, I suppose if it just makes my head spin too much, I can always go in and add it, because we can go in and add words here. We just have to lay it out so everything's understood to make it have the meaning, have the type of word and the pronunciation in the IPA there. Okay. So at this point, if that's the hello, my name. Swap. Here we go. Let's get over to our example sentences. Yes, copying, pasting makes things bad. Capitalize, please. Okay. Yeshem. That's nice for hello, isn't it? Yeshem. Oh yes, the Japanese splits its verb is into des, iru, and aru. Oh, I know. I know. Would you mind translating hello my baby, hello my honey, hello my ragtime gal? I can do that, but we may have to invent terms for ragtime and just go with girl as opposed to gal in the meantime. Just give me a moment, sorry. Yashem, siom, Kepiage, kazayo juo. Kepiage, kazayo juo. Just worried kazayo. Maybe it's just because I'm so used to seeing the term kazayo juo, but I'm just worried that it doesn't look quite enough like the rest of it, but should be okay, I hope. Let's just grab the IPA pronunciation so I don't lose it. Doopy-doo. And I will get the Gazayajuo IPA pronunciation later. Ugh. Okay, Blue, time to make the history of how ragtime evolved in this world. I'm sure that's relevant. Oh dear. I don't think I ever quite found a way to describe Kaz's preferred genre of music. It's like a combination of pop, rap, rock, boogie, all these sort of things. I think the main song that comes to mind when I think of it is Maury Calliope's Dead on Arrival, and what's the other one? The one that she did with some friends. I can hear it in my head, but I can't hum it. What was my first thought? It's like a scream that's purple. Etymology likely from ragged in time in reference to its heavy use of syncopation from the ragged American dialect term for a dance ball. Etymology is so interesting. Too bad I can't make it work for this language. Oh dear. Okay, hold on. Must fulfill wishes. Fulfilling wishes. Where are we? Here we are. Hello, my baby. Yeshem Siom Tsi. Sorry, I should write this down for you. Give me a sec. Down here. Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling. Hello, my ragtime gal. Okay. Okay, so there it is. Let's get it done. Wrong one. Here we are. Hello, my baby. Yeshem Sion Si. I'm just going to pop it in without moving the screen as well, sorry. Yeshem Sion Si. I keep pressing the wrong button for me. Hello, my darling. Yeshem Sion Shiwa. Shiwa. And doopy-doo. Let's just see what it gives us. Hello. Right, I'm just going to put girl because I doubt highly gal is going to be there. Yep. We'll have to come up with something for ragtime. Oh dear. Oh dear. Can I think of that another time, please? Oh dear. Oh no, I forgot to grab the the IPA pronunciation. That's okay. I'll sort it out later. Yes. Sorry. Unless ragtime is a loan word from another language, and we can just say ragtime for now. Yeshem. Can we sing it to the tune? Probably shouldn't sing the tune. Yeshem Siom Si, Yeshem Siom Shua. Shia. Yeah, that's got to be the Shia. Shua. Shua. Oh, wait, no. Is that too confusing? Oh, well. Yeshem Siom Ragtime Mua. There you go. I hope you're happy now. It is done. It is done. Oh, dearie me. I'm sorry I'm not showing you too much of the language, but honestly, just having all the grammar staring me in the face is doing my head in a little bit. I think in order to get more done with it, I'm just going to have to sit and work with it for a while. I think it's mostly all these prefixes. Well, yes, all these prefixes. They may be upsetting me just a little bit. Might wind up working on that. Oh, moi, girl, etymology, onomatopoeia from the sound of kissing. Huh? Did you just make that up? If you did, that's very clever, and I love it. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. I may have just typed that down so I don't forget it. Thank you. Oh, dearie me. I'm sorry if this stream hasn't been quite what people hoped for or expected. It's mostly just me muddling through and showing you what I've got. And just throwing it in to generate a hopeful final version. I suppose it doesn't really matter if it does my head in, because I won't be using it too much, but it'd still be nice if it's workable. Oh no, yawn coming. Oh, excuse me, sorry. Excuse me. But I think... Oh, made me conjure up the image of a kissing scene, but instead of kissing sounds, it's Siri text-to-speech going, girl, 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 go girl. Auto-translate moment. Oh dear. Thank you all for making me giggle. It's nice. Yeah, so I may meddle around with it a bit more still, but I think I'm finally at least set on The phonology. Hi, Boo. Hello, Sune. Lovely to see you. Lovely to see you. Just been messing around, trying to finalize a very messy language of mine, and hopefully not upsetting all the far more talented world builders who are here. Oh no, another yawn. Oh, excuse me. Too tired. Too tired. I need to cleanse yet. I wonder if the spiders crawled out of my sink. I think I mostly just like the plural being reduplicating the whole word. I think that's adorable. Wait. I am waiting. What am I waiting for? Oh dear. Sorry, I'm still just scrolling through this and just staring at the verbs. The verbs. You're making your own language. Well, I'm using a language generator to help me do most of it. Hopefully one day I'll be making them all myself. Translate, I wonder if the spider has crawled out of my sink. Okay. Let's give that a go. Yes, I'm just using the software Volgalang, and I threw in sort of all the sounds I wanted and all the grammar rules I wanted to try to get something workable. I'm not sure how workable it is, but I think at the very least all my character names and place names should work. Hopefully. Oh, I think one thing is I think I've got an awful lot more ending in vowels, and I think... Oh, the small one's upset again, I think. Oh, good afternoon. Came a little late today, but I'm looking forward to today's stream. Is there much left to do? I don't know. We may try to translate a few more things, but I can briefly go over how we got here. Just let me throw this in before I forget. Language generator, that's the thing. It is. It's very useful, and the free version is free. The free version, you can't do quite as much with it, but it's probably all a lot of people need. But the full version isn't actually too expensive. Again, I think when I bought it, it was about 30 Australian dollars. So not too bad. Oh, little baby, yeah. I can't hear her now, but that means it's probably going to be intermittent for a little while. Oh dear. So what was that? I wonder if the spider has crawled out of my sink. Somehow I don't think it's going to be able to handle this. Ooh, Volgalang is great for naming languages. Yes, it's been really good. Sorry, I'm just staring at your name and hopefully I pronounce it correctly. It's Pliam? You can feel free to heckle me. I've said that quite a few times. Heckle all you want for my terrible pronunciations and awful conlangs. But yes, I'm not sure the translator can handle this, but maybe once I've gotten more of a handle on the grammar and such, I'd be able to... Oh dear, it's only has crawled. Huh. Aside from a cursory glance, the generator's inserting just after vowels a lot more than your place and character names. Yes, I was seeing that. Something to think about. I might wind up making those sounds less common and just regenerating things, but you know, don't generally want to change too much. So I take it crawl is just not in the dictionary. Oh no, crawl is there. Crawl is there. Crawl is gyash. So how do we past tense gyash? Gyash. How do we past tense that? Whoop-we-doo. Gyash. Past tense. Too much. It's Scottish Gaelic. There was an attempt. There was indeed an attempt. Probably not a very impressive attempt, but an attempt nonetheless. Oh dear. Rua. You see the correct one. Yes, there it is. Rua gyash. So let's just copy that so it's got the diphthong thing there. Sorry. What about the has? What do we do about has there? That's oh dear, pronunciation isn't much better, but the accents are very similar. Oh well. That's okay. We can try. Actually, I'm just gonna throw this sentence over into what we were working on. So I wonder if the spider has crawled out of my sink. Sorry, Blue was being lazy. Whoop. I wonder if the spider has crawled out of my sink. And back over here. Okay, and so this is what it gave us. That's right, we couldn't pass your sentence, so we just translated it word for word. So this probably is not quite what it would be, but an approximation for now. And I'll just grab this as well, IPA. Stop humming tunes. No tune humming. You can drop the has, I think, unless you want session to have a robust past perfective verb construction. I have no strong feelings. Do you have strong feelings on this matter? Ooh, English tenses are slightly whack, to be honest. As long as we can just... Is that similar to the is? We can just drop the is and drop the has? You think that makes sense? Because if that makes sense, I'm happy to ignore them completely. Okay, so the has crawled. We looked at that. It was you are, wasn't it? Sorry, I'm on the wrong page. It's complicated to try to swap in two places so you can see what I'm doing. But let's go back down to one that you found for me. It's this one. I'm just gonna throw it in. And crawled was gash. Okay, so let's bring it over here and make it bigger so we can actually see what is going on. Okay, so this might be closer. We can't see it through here. Let's just cut that and shift it along a bit. There we go. Oh, it depends on how much harder you want the future. You want future you to work remembering how grammar works. Dropping the has in the English sentence barely changes the meaning. You're right. Alright, maybe I'll just throw it down here where I'll likely see it again. Am I okay with dropping has and is? And I can think about that more later. Okay, so I wonder if the spider has crawled out of my sink. Okay, so they said they just did a direct translation, which, you know, isn't great. There might be a specific way people in session would think about this and phrase it, and that wouldn't say it directly like this. I don't know. It does seem a very direct sort of sentence, though. Siom choljna jue im vein has ryugyash siosh. You're right, there's so many jiaj. Siom egji. I like that. Egji. Yes. I think I've made more consonant combinations since making a lot of my names. Still think it's okay. But, yes, I may have to... Can you see my beloved? Iggy. Well, I like it anyway. Oh dear. I just feel like I have to keep apologizing for my incompetence here. I'm so sorry. Oh, it'll be more fun probably when I'm going more from scratch, as opposed to trying to just pull together this language I kind of already had. Yeah, right. I'm just worried that a lot of the names aren't quite working, because I think in most of these words I had fewer consonant combinations in the middle. I don't think any of them look hugely out of place as such. Well, honestly, I can always regenerate the language itself without changing grammar rules, and, you know, choose new things, choose new words and stuff. Oh dear. Easy peasy. I feel like apologizing for incompetence is something that every conlanger feels compelled to do regardless of experience. Yeah, I think I mostly just keep trying to tell myself no one's actually going to see much of this language. But still, it'd be nice to have, you know, on the website for the story, a bit of a dictionary, a few of the grammar rules, a few example sentences, just to help a bit. I don't know, I guess I'm just going to have to... I won't do it tonight because it'll take too long and probably be very boring, but I'll have to go through all of the names that I've got and absolutely double check that they work with this new language. I'm pretty sure they do work. It's just I think I've made some other sounds more common, so they're popping up a lot more. And in the final dictionary, that just might mean I have to go through and remove some of those ones and replace with different ones. Were there any other sentences anyone wanted me? Let me just shift this down a little bit so I've got room for more sentences. Any other sentences anyone wants me to have a go at? Not that I'm doing much of the work. Most of the work seems to have been done by the generator and by you guys. But yes, I can try to do another sentence if anyone's got more sentences you want to look at. I suppose I could look at some of these ones. This one seems like it's a fairly straightforward one. That red thing was very bad. It was the worst. Let's just have a look at that while we're thinking. Whoop, swap over. So what is it? That red thing was very bad. It was the worst. That's one of my goodies examples sentences. Whoa, where are we? Oh, my hovercraft is full of eels. That's fantastic. Sadly, I'm not sure they'll have the word hovercraft, but I suppose we might be able to make it, or if we turn off this smart translation, we might be able to make it work. Let's just see. Oh, we've got that red thing was very bad. Okay. Vieth king se ong shim jie. Zia, not jet, zia. That's not bad. Vieth king se ong shim zia. Yeah, I think... Yeah, the thing with my names and this version now is that we've just got a lot more consonant combinations. Did I say combinations completely incorrectly there? Sorry, Blue is tired. Okay, so here we have that red thing was very bad. I'm just going to pop it over like this to make it easier for me. And the IPA so I don't forget it. And that was the end of it. It was the worst. Okay. Translate. Oh, no word for worst. Oh dear. Oh dear. Tomata wa super pilon sewi. Lijo e kala linja. Mutente. Okay. Ah yes, a classic. I will look at my hovercraft is full of eels in just a moment. Worst equals most bad. Okay, okay. Thank you. That makes sense. There we go. I guess we're dropping was again. Ugh, to be honest, I've been using Volgalang since it was Australian 16 to 18, but I've never actually utilized the smart translation feature, so it's interesting to see it in action. Yes, slightly more expensive now. You've probably been using it a fair amount longer than me, and you're much better at using it than I am. So again, hopefully I am not infuriating anyone. But yes, given we're dropping the is, I'm imagining we're dropping the was as well, at least at present. Whoa. Doopy-doopy-doo. Wrong button for blue. Sorry. Okay, so including, I'm okay with dropping has and is and all other associated words. I'm just throwing was down there so I don't forgive. Forgive, forget. Never forgive, always forget. Never forget, always forgive. Something like that, etc., etc. Oh dear. Let's have a look. Sorry, I've got to show you. Bigger, please. Okay, that red thing was very bad. It was the worst. This is probably not what it would be finally because it's too direct, but I'll figure all the good stuff out later. Your eyebrows and eye tracking really shows your brain going where. Well, yeah. Well, I hope it's entertaining at least. Oh dear, can I say this? Vieth king se ong shim zia. Ziej im pietha zia. Oh dear. Kind of cool. Kind of cool. I guess it just still feels a little odd in my head because I keep expecting it to sound more Japanese. And I was very purposely moving it away from sounding too Japanese. But yeah. Or maybe with the issue with some of the names sounding a little out of place, or maybe they're uncommon. I could always just say maybe a lot of their names are, the main characters' names are uncommonish names, and I can always change a bunch of the other ones. I mean, there's a whole lot of names I'm not 100% set on. It's mostly just the main siblings that I'm very much set on. Ugh. Getting a good grade in conlang is something that's normal to want, impossible to achieve. Oh dear, yes. But I suppose another solution as well is just, I could definitely change a few of these district names. The ones I don't like as much. And I'll just play with this feature here very quickly before attempting that my hovercraft is full of eels translation. Let's have a look. Blue 2. They have a lovely button. Is it up here? Where is my lovely button? Lovely button, where have you gone? There you are. Generate character place names. This is a very useful button. And I can just use that one to find more place names and character names that sort of sound more like this to throw in there. But also not really sure about doing it a huge amount because I do want most things to be sort of word names. So I suppose the main thing I'd do is just go through and grab random words and put them together. Ooh, I just want to see if Juo is here as a meaning thing. Oh, it's... No, wait. Zhu, Jun, Zhu, 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 Jiang, Zhu... It does not look like Zhuo is there. That's good, I can give it whatever meaning I want. Much easier. Where's my button gone? There it is. Let's just have a look. Giodier. Gone. Oh goodness me. Chiage. Yes, I've gone a bit more all out with these than the original version. Ooh, cheers. Oh no. Yeah, cheers. Something like that. It's arguably about habit, but in my opinion, it can't beat a good "this word is derived from a substrate language of an unknown origin" to explain away the attached to it, but it doesn't quite fit. I suppose so. I was thinking that a lot of their names could maybe be more similar to the older language, and maybe a lot of names do come more directly from the older language as opposed to this, so that could work. It could work. Yeah, maybe a bad habit, but one I'm very happy to use. Because that way as well I can pretty much give the names any meaning I want and they don't have to line up with the ones for the actual language. Yeah, maybe naming conventions are more along the lines of the older language. Ugh. I have a solution to suggest for the is-was dropping, which is just to say that the verb, tense, subject, prefixes come from inflections of is in an earlier stage of the language that can now be used both as prefixes or just on their own as the word is. Sorry, it's just late. I'm trying to wrap my head around things. I think I will definitely have to read that when I'm slightly more awake. I'm going to have to go back through the stream chat later on so I can copy that, so I can pop it down so I can think, see if I can make my head make things work in my head. It's surprisingly often where things in Blue's head do not work in her head. But thank you so much for the solution. I will definitely consider and try to make things work. I may wind up doing another stream eventually on this language once it's pulled together a little bit more. Yes, now I'm wondering whether I've just gone a bit too all out with this, but you know, I did want it to sound less Japanese, so it's on me. It's on me. I did this to myself. Ooh, that's cute. But there do seem to be an awful lot of these sort of combinations when I put them all at the furthest end. It is present tense. Oh, okay. So I can just pop that in there as the prefix. Shall definitely consider that, yes. Where am I? Here we are. Sorry, it's my head. Not only tired, but also has no idea what it's doing. Oh dear. Thank you so much for your help. It is very, very much appreciated. I just need to be able to wrap my head around everything. Oh dear. Oh dear. Sorry, I'm feeling apologetic for my ignorance again. I should try to stop doing that, shouldn't I? I'm just going to hit the generate character place name button a few more times to cheer me up. Why are they doing so many of these combinations when I put them right down the end of usage? Oh dear, it just seems a little odd. Let's just have a look. Yeah, see all of these? Ah, I know I can't change them. I know. Put them all right down the end, but yet they don't seem to be popping up. Except they do seem to be popping up. They're popping up way too much. Maybe I should have gone a fast drop-off instead. Oh well. Oh well. Well, if I do wind up having to regenerate the language, I'm sorry. Yum Fiona loud. Yes, if after all of that I wind up having to regenerate the language, I'm so sorry. But it is what it is, I guess. I'm doing my best. I think I might just have to try to make a few things pop up a little less. We'll see, we'll see. Well, in which case I think I'd have to rearrange these ones a little bit. I don't know, it'll involve more perusal of the dictionary. How many ts words are there? Not nearly enough. Oh, time for some pruning. Yes, I just feel bad about, spending the whole stream working on this and then just wind up, scrapping so much of it. But I suppose we can always do another stream when we redo our translations for our lovely sentences and make it work a bit better. I will save this version once we finish up, but I may have to do some more tinkering, and then maybe in a few weeks or a few months we can have another fun stream with the language hopefully pulled together finally to mostly satisfaction, and we can go through and do some more fun translating. You can always save the language and steal bits you like and paste them into a new generation if it makes you feel any better. That's probably what will wind up happening. I mean, I may wind up, once I'm 100% settled on my custom phonemes and such, I'm just wondering if I've just gone too all out and if I have to simplify things a bit more. And you could always generate multiple versions and mix and match the dictionaries and pick the grammar I prefer the most. I'm getting slightly attached to the grammar we have here now. Well, I generated a language via Vulgalang and have been systematically changing everything bit by bit. That's probably what'll happen for a while. I don't want to spend too much time on it because I want the story done. And for the story to be done, I need at least the names settled. Oh, dearie me. What were we doing? The eels. The hovercraft. Hold on. What's the full sentence again? My hovercraft is full of eels. Let's just have a... Where are we? Here it is. I think we might have to turn off the smart translation and just see if we can make hovercraft. My hovercraft is again full of eels. Oh, I find that when I generate a long vocab list, I have to prune the majority of what gives me, it's called lexical hygiene. It sounds glorious, and it's probably very much what I'll wind up doing. They've just put so many of the consonant combinations with the y sound, with the y, and I had those right at the end. I wasn't expecting so many of those to show up. And I think it's just having so many of those, and as well, I think you mentioned just an awful lot of the je in random places that's just making it not quite mesh. Even though I think all of those names will work in the language, they look a little unusual. But yes, there is the point that maybe most names come from an older version of the language, and I might go with that. They can still be word names, just word names from the older version of the language. But then I suppose begs the question, why make this language at all if it's not even going to pop up in the place names and such? Oh well, yeah, sometimes the long words are clearly compound words and you need to break them up to find meaning. That's most of this sentence is not here. Okay, that's okay. We can fix this. Okay, there is eel, ing, And to make it plural, we go eng eng. And I think that is the best grammar rule we have so far. I really don't want to lose that one because it's adorable. Okay, eng eng. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of jumping around here. Sorry. Hold on. I'm just going to open up a notepad for my easy access. You guys won't be able to see it, but that's okay. I'm just throwing stuff over to make things easier for me. Sorry. And where was eel? And what else was I having trouble with? Hover and craft. Let's find. Well, I doubt this actually combine hover and craft. Let's just reduplication 10 out of 10. Hovercraft, land boat. I suppose in my head I always think of hovercraft being land boat, sky boat. Well, sky boat's probably a bit too far. Land boat. Okay, let's try land boat. Land boat. Land boat. Let's just do this the hard way. Ooh, motherland, that's a good word. Landlord. Nope. Island. Land, earth, soil, country. That sounds about right. Tour. Sorry. I am smart after all the conlang. I'm glad you are. I'm definitely not. It just feels like all the work's being done by you guys and the software. I can feel, great conlangers who are no longer with us rolling in their graves, or ashes smouldering, or more unpleasant things along those lines. Boat. Can you boat? Where is boat? Here is boat. Race. That's nice. So, do you think we should just slap them together? Is that acceptable, do you think? So we can make hovercraft. Tuares. Big clong. So it was big brain. Ooh. Tuares. Oh, just gotta throw in IPA version. I'm sorry you can't see this. It was getting too much swapping back and forth between things. Tuares. Oop-be-doop-be-doo. Oh, it was pretty much the same anyway. Oh, well. And at the moment, still just cutting the is until I figure out how to do it properly. So, over here. So, replacing hovercraft with tuares and eel with ein. Or ein, because plural. And more ein. And there we go. Except we are currently cutting the is until I can figure that out properly. Oh dear. Here we go. Let's. I keep almost accidentally going over the finish stream button. Like, not yet. Don't press that one yet. Here we go. My hovercraft is full of eels. That's right. Think of I want exclamation point and question mark and a bunch of other sort of ending things to have actual sounds. So I'll think about that later. Bigger, please. Okay, so that seems to be what it would be. Oh. I have big long, I don't know how to make the weird. It's that's ng sound, like ing. I remember that one because I use it a lot. And one more. There we go. And IPA version. For future blue. Okay, so Siom Tuares and Zios. Jeez. Yeah, maybe that one's too hard to say. Maybe I should cut those out. Oh, I tried to feel the vibe of this language, and now I kind of wonder how would dark everywhere, silent everywhere, what is there to come sound like? Bits of scene sound beautiful, by the way. Thank you. I'm glad it sounds and looks beautiful. I'm just hoping it's pronounceable. Because it's mostly I'm looking at these bits. Guessing they're full of Geos, that one's not too bad. Gij. Oh, I suppose it's not too bad. Gij. Okay, I'll try it again. Siom tuares shioj gij ein. My hovercraft is full of eels. Kind of. Oh dear. I just keep wanting to apologize more and more that the language may wind up changing and these won't apply anymore, but we can always retranslate them. Okay, Ashley, we'll look at yours and then I might have to call it a night. Let's pop this down and see what we can get. Dark everywhere. Silent. Mind if I change that to silence? Dark everywhere, silence everywhere. What is there to come? Dark everywhere, silence everywhere. I might change it to what is to come, just to see if it makes it slightly easier on the software. Hope that's alright. Dark everywhere, silence everywhere, what is to come? Oh, are there large religious influences in your works? I love using "in the year of our Lord" despite being not religious for the comedy aspect. I think I went vaguely the way of Shinto in that there's a lot of religious-esque aspects sort of built into the culture, but I'm not sure how much belief system there is behind it anymore. There's lots of deities, but people just sort of, chat about them casually and, deities are cool, go worship on feast days, but I think the worship is more a cultural than a religious thing, if that sort of makes sense. There's priests and attendants and stuff at the shrines. And I did want sort of ancestor reverence. I think it's more like ancestor and deity reverence as opposed to full out worship. And I'm not sure if most people believe fully in the deities or just sort of like the idea of them and they're a deep part of the culture. Yeah. I think Kaz talks about, their local deity being cool and liking their local deity, and I think in the first chapter he makes an offering of some shrimp crisps, a shrimp snack to the local deity for some luck. Great officials and my brother in Christ. That's a good one. Like instead of that's outdated, frosted tips in the year of our Lord 2024. Sorry. The early translation stage is a vital part of figuring out exactly where you're going with the new conlang, even if everything's changed in the end. I guess so. I suppose I just feel particularly odd about it because I've been writing the story for so dang long, and I've been working with a lot of these names and place names for so long. I guess I just have a bad habit of doing things in the wrong order. Yeah, I do things in the wrong order. Spiritually significant local mascots, something like that. And much bigger feast days for the more intense deities. But yes, every district has its own deity, and there's a lot of districts. So if you district hop, you can probably, go to a carnival every day, sort of thing. Sounds like a cyberpunk concept. Oh dear. Okay. Dark everywhere, silence everywhere. What is to come? Let's have a look at that. And then Blue may have to sleep. Thank you for sticking with me through my fumbling. Blue is doing her best, and hopefully it'll be all pulled together later. I have to believe with Bliam some were important to you, or the work can show you direction. To remember that Klingon literally started with random noises posing as battle commands. Wow, I did not know that. Granted, I don't know a huge amount about Star Trek, but I've always found the idea of the Klingon to be interesting, particularly how some people manage to be fluent in it. So the whole language is there, which is super cool. And I suppose it's nice to think people could learn your language if they loved the story enough. And I kind of liked a good language to be there for them to learn, really. But I guess for me it's still an afterthought, which I suppose isn't brilliant. But again, I'm much more story characters now than world building, and I like to weave the world around the story as opposed to the other way around. Oh dear, where are we? Here we are. So let's just start. Let's do these as 3 separate sentences for ease, and just assume that they can run on as a single sentence. Oh, the sound is funky, but if you can find an interview of the process from original Star Trek to present day, it's wild stuff. Okay. We'll think about it. I should look more into this, but it's always, if I have time to be writing, I should be writing as opposed to inventing languages. Oh dear. This language will happen. It may not wind up being quite in this form, because I think some of the sounds are popping up way too much, and I do want them there, I just don't want them there that much, so I might have to look at that. Such as the one on CopyCon, the Conlang conference hosted by David J. Peterson and co. I have not heard of a Conlang conference. That's very cool, and I imagine very useful. But I think I would feel highly out of place at such a con. I think I hear the small one. I'll just keep an ear out. Hold on. Okay. Everywhere. Could we do all places? Would that work? Or I suppose it doesn't always necessarily have to mean place, but place, but space might apply better. So he never got the CopyCo sponsorship. Dark every. Well, let's just try every space. Yeah, I'm not sure it'll work going straight from everywhere. Let's just go with every space to see if we can make it a compound word. Portish. Let me just throw that down on my note page. Every space, so everywhere. Again, may not wind up going with this, so might just wind up inventing entirely new words for things like everywhere. But we'll see. And what was dark? Ooh, Huith. That's nice. Yeah, that's silence. Yuaching. Silence. And it was what is to come, isn't it? Though it'll still be without the question sound marker that I want to add. I'm cutting the is again until I can figure it out. Jia kyoish chua. Is to come. Okay. So let us pop back over here and give this a go. So we have Huth is dark. There we go. Let's get you a little bigger, please. Huth. We had. So everywhere I've just made a compound of every and space. So we'll just go with that for now, but again I'll probably wind up changing that at one point. So compound word of that. Comma it. We have silence over here. Yuaching. Ah, no. Whoops. Don't worry, I can fix it. Watch me fix it reasonably quickly. Yeah, I think I'll have to definitely look at everywhere again and find another solution. But for now, we had the what is to come, but we were currently cutting out is, but may wind up changing that with apple oxide suggestion once I can give it the attention it deserves to make it work. Oh dear. What have I done? Why isn't it working? Hold on. What have I done? Okay, let's just. Here we go. Let's get rid of that. Sorry. Okay, let's have a look at this. Here we go. So this is a very rough translation now for dark everywhere, silence everywhere, what is to come. Huith portish, yuaching portish, jia kyoish chua. I think it's pretty. I think it's pretty. Again, you know, not going to be exact, particularly if I wind up changing a bunch of the dictionary. But no, this one, I quite like how that one sounds. Huith portish, yuaching portish, jia kyoish chua. Pretty. I find the Conlang community is always exceptionally happy to offer advice to newcomers about anything and everything, even when no one really asked. So there's always an accessible advice pool. Yes, I'm sure the people are absolutely wonderful and more than happy to help. I think Blue just has a little trouble approaching people for said help, hence why she's always sort of blundering around on her own. Oh dear. Wow, this sounds powerful. I do really like how that one sounds. It may even turn out that when I build the final dictionary, I'll go through this and I'll keep all the words that we've got here. Because I do really like how this sounds. I think it's pretty. Do you want me to pop that? I'll just pop that in the chat for fun. Oh, will I? Yes, I will. Yay. There we go. Oh dear. Sorry. Blue has run out of steam. Did you really wind up doing very much? I don't know. I think so. It's almost got a very soft Polish vibe or something. I like the idea of that. Wasn't it said you loved hearing Polish in singing? So it's got a bit of a Polish vibe along with the Japanese and other East Asian influences. I kind of really like that. But it might mean, yes, we'll definitely have to consider the name issue and how they don't sound quite right. What does the kyosh translate to? Hold on. Well, the Jia kyosh tua says it's what is to come. Just let me flick back over here, because that one should still be up. It says that kyosh is 2. So maybe, hopefully it's being used correctly. I don't know. Let's just have a quick look at exactly how it's used in the dictionary. 2 towards what is to come. It should work there, shouldn't it? Oh dear. Oh, and kyom is membrane. That's a useful word. Yeah, this is starting to grow on me more. I guess I'm just concerned about the names. Oh dear. Well, I suppose again, I shouldn't be so stuck on the district names, at least. I mean, there's a bunch that I really do want to keep, but... Sorry, I just keep agonizing over the same things over and over, don't I? That's one reason why nothing gets done. Oh, so that's why my Polish genes kicked in. I literally quoted Wiki Week. Hello, Zabi. Hello. Insane in the kyom. Yes, sorry. That took me exactly 2 seconds to get. Hello, Zebi. Honestly, we are just finishing up the stream. Sorry, Blue is running out of steam. Truly, what is conlang if not agonizing over the same thing again and again? Yes, I'm feeling that at the moment. I'm feeling it. But yes, so long as these names are kept, I think I'll be happy. I quite like Young, but I'm pretty sure I'll be fine changing any other of these. And the surnames should all be fine because, you know, surnames, I want them to all be 1 syllable anyway, so they won't look as strange, I think, next to everything else. I'll just have to throw in a few more with the combination, given it wants to pop up so much. Well, fair enough. I just woke up and saw the post on Tumblr and rushed over. Thank you for coming. It is lovely of you. Thank you. Yes, this stream is mostly just Blue apologising for being a terrible conlanger. And hopefully not making the great conlangers of past times too devastated. And of present times, actually, too. Oh, dearie me. What was I doing? I think that is something Blue occasionally does, or apparently not in this moment. Well, maybe another thing that I could do is just pick a bunch of sort of sounds and specific things that are used more frequently in proper nouns, like given names and locations. Or, as it's been said, I could just, make it so most names come from, the older versions of the language as opposed to the newer versions of the language. I suppose as well, there might have been a fair amount of influence locally on the language from the indigenous language, and I did want to make a whole version of the indigenous language as well. But maybe that's where some of this comes from. Maybe. More to think on. Oh, for goodness sake, I wanted a pretty much completed language by the end of this. Well, that definitely didn't happen. We did as much as we could. Oh dear. I still just want to keep apologizing that it's not finished and it's probably going to change. And it's... oh well. At least I am still reasonably happy with, the phonology. I'm just wondering whether I have too many consonant combinations, whether I need to tone that down a little bit, and whether I just need to make it so the consonants combining with maybe make fewer of them, or just make them less common if I can. Oh dear. And the auto-generated grammar said the definite article the should be used before people's names. Is that a rule you want to keep? I don't know. I don't know. Where is that? Here we go. Can be omitted. I'm going to supermarket. Use of personal names and third person. The Maria's left school. When it's in the third person. I think it's kind of cute. We could do that when it's in the third person and used for languages. That could work. Oh, a thing I do sometimes is break words I want to use without current meaning and decide what those components mean and scatter them throughout the language so everything fits smoothly. I'll probably give that a go at one point. I probably will. Making an entire language in 3 hours is a high expectation, so you have nothing to apologize for. But it's not from scratch. It's not only with the help of the software, but I'd already gathered together pretty much all the sounds that I wanted for it and had a good idea of what sort of how I wanted to do the grammar rules. So it was not entirely from scratch. I just really want this language done because I feel like if I can get it pulled together, maybe that'll help me actually finish the story. That would be nice. That would be very nice. Excuse me, sorry. Dear. It's not as deep as I thought it was going to be. It was a phantom cough. Oh, the shortest it's taken me is around a year. That was evolving from the proto-Germanic. Oh dear. I'm not looking forward to a language I'm going to have to create for another story. I mean, I really want to write the story, but I think I need to have the language first because it's very important. And it'll be, highly influenced by Welsh. But it's meant to be the language that only one town in Wales speaks, and this town was magically cut off from the rest of the world for about 6,000 years. It still had minimal contact with local people, but it was very difficult from anyone from the outside to see them, although they could see people from the outside, sort of. So, yes, I'm anxious about trying to make a language that sounds like it could exist in the real world, alongside Welsh and Irish and Scottish and such. So, yes, that will be nerve-wracking. Oh dear, creating a conlang definitely takes somewhere between 3 and 50 billion hours. Yeah. I suppose it's just the vain hope that this could pull it together, because it has to be done, and time, energy, focus, all things blue is rather lacking in at the moment, unfortunately. Ooh, Simre Kaza? Oh, so you're wanting to look into Proto-Celtic for that time frame? I was, yes. It's just I was still wondering. It would be closest to. It would definitely be quite close to Welsh, as opposed to have just gone off the way Welsh, Irish, Scottish, and the other. I know there's another few that aren't really spoken anymore as well. But yes, it will definitely be closer to Welsh because they have had contact with Welsh people throughout this 6,000 years, just not hugely often, but they have had contact with the Welsh language, and so I think it's more likely that they would have evolved much closer to each other. Oh dear. Understanding Proto-Irish definitely takes somewhere between 3 and 50 million years. Cornish, yes, that's one of them. There were a few others too. I tried looking into it a bit and got highly intimidated, so ducked away a bit. I am very keen to write that story if when I can, because it's one of the few stories that are standalone. I need more of my stories to be standalone. Even like 2 of them that I was intending to be standalone are now duologies. Like, 6,000 years ago, yeah, I remember that I was there. Yeah. And I do want one of the characters is actually that old, young body, that old, sort of Fae equivalent-ish. And so I kind of like it if they occasionally, accidentally get mixed up and say some super old sort of terms. That would be fun. Oh dear, I'm starting to get the late night adrenaline twitches, so I should probably call it about there. I need to stop thinking all I want to do is apologize right now. I did my best. We have something that sounds quite pretty. It just might need a little bit of tweaking. Ooh, 3 whips on the wall, exactly 3 whips on the wall. Take it down, write it all down, 27 whips on the wall. Oh dear, I think I've got between 15 and 20 sort of in the works, meaning I can't say no to them because I love them too much, even though many of them have been, nothing serious done on them for like 15, 20 years, but still think about them a lot. Oh dear, I've got to get the main magical project going first. I mean, if I can get the first few books done for that, maybe I can take a break and jump onto something else for a while. I don't know. But I think main magical project is still my heart story at this point. I mean, I'm sure when I'm working on them all, they'll all be my heart story, but Sigh. Well, I think you all know Sigh. I think you can probably relate to that. I know exactly what you mean, yes. I found trying to write a character that acts convincingly like someone who has lived for many thousands of years to be harder than any conlanging I've ever done. Yeah. Although, they haven't lived in isolation for that long. They've always been around people. So they've kind of, mostly been able to change with the times. I think this person was locked away for a few hundred years due to an incident, possibly a millennia. But, and yeah, so stuff would have been weird then. But from what I remember writing, this person is actually an avid gamer at the moment. Oh dear. But it'll be something to work on. I mean, I'm considering when I get around to working on other stories that I haven't done near as much work on, that I should try to do a bit of the planning on stream maybe, and chat a bit about some of the characters to get things going. I mean, I suppose there's always the concern that people take ideas, but, people take ideas everywhere. I wasn't going to put my stuff on Wattpad. I was just going to put it on my own website, but I've been flirting more and more with the idea, mostly because Wattpad is now so closely affiliated with webtoons. I've been hearing about Wattpad stories going on to become successful webtoons, and my main magical project would make an exceptional webtoon. Oh, Evonlisks. Oh dear, I'm probably pronouncing that very, very badly. Evonlisk, I suppose. I am not sure what that word means, to be honest with you. Oh dear, I'm gonna have to call it. I need to cleanse and to sleep. There are plans tomorrow. Oh, that place where Camelot was. Okay. Blue is still vaguely capable of coherent thought, somehow. Enough to remember the lyrics of the finishing song. Yay. Go to sleep, it's indeed bedtime. Oh dear. So thank you for bearing with me. Thank you for helping me so much. I think a lot of you can read all of that grammar related stuff, not to mention the IPA, a lot better than I can. It's been very, very helpful. Thank you. I will keep working on the Sejun dialect. Figure out what to do about the names sounding slightly different. Figure out whether I'm just dropping the ears or what's going on with that. It'll all be worked out. It was chill. I'm glad it was chill. I'm not feeling chill, but I'm glad you're feeling chill. Oh, I'm so twitchy. Oh dear. I suppose I'm glad the model can't convey just how twitchy I am. Good night, sleep well. Thank you to you as well the next time it is time for you to sleep. Oh dear. Thank you again. Oh, and again, anyone who hasn't had a look at her stuff yet, make sure to check out My Goodie. She is a wonderful person and a wonderful world-building resource, so do check her out. And wherever you are in the world, good night to you, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, and I hope the rest of your day is absolutely lovely, because that's what you deserve. I should go to bed too. Snooze time. Go snooze. And I will just sing the parting glass before we all go, because that is what Blue does. It's supposed to try to hurry her into endings, but I just wind up tangenting a whole lot anyway. I'll probably dream of interrogative particles or something. Well, they wouldn't be unpleasant dreams, at least. Not unpleasant. Maybe slightly boring for some people, but who knows? Sometimes we just really like grammar. Okay, see if I can sing this when I'm all twitchy. For the money that here I had, I have spent it in good company. Oh, and all the harm I've ever done, alas, it was to none but me. And all I've done for want of wit, to memory now I can't recall. So fill to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be there. Sorry. Good night and joy be to you all. Somehow I knew that was going to happen. Nighty night, my dearest library. Good night to you too, creative fish. Good night, everyone, when the good night will most appropriately apply. And until next time. Bye bye. Good night, bookshelf. Who said whack? Indeed. Until next time.